Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel, John Morse. So, the teacher that was shot by that 6-year-old boy at that school, I believe the name is Richneck? Yeah, that name sounds right, yeah. Anyway, this 6-year-old had shot Abigail Warner, and the date sounds surprising to you, but this is also dated on January 6th. But it's not the same year that the January 6th insurrection was. This was a January 6th of this year of 2023 that this whole thing happened. And Abigail Warner had an interview on the Today Show that was done 2 months ago. So this was an interview that was done in April. Right now we are in the month of June, so you want to take those no, you want to take the date of when that interview happened. You can take it 2 months back, and that will, June subtracted by 2 months back is going to give you the month of April, which is, you subtract 6 minus 2, you get 4. So that would be your month, which is April. So anyway, let me get on to the rest of what I wanted to be talking about. So, what actually was said in the interview from Abigail Warner herself? She said that parts of that are, well, she admitted when the host of the interview asked, so parts of that bullets are still in her chest? She said yes. She said that parts of the bullet are still in her chest. But she's got a scar that she said that marks where she had to have her surgery. It appears that that's what was needed to actually remove some of those wounds that she had taken from the bullet that was fired by that 6-year-old. And not only has she had surgery on her chest, but she's also had surgery on her arm as well. Now, when you go to that interview, you can see what I'm talking about, because on the arm, it's wrapped up in what looks like cloth or whatever. And this is the first, that's where the bullet starts to go through first, is first her hand. And it looks like it's the right hand. The same kind of hand that I too actually write with. So maybe not the right. I think it's the left. So it might not be the right. It could have been the left. Because, when a person sits across from you, your left and your rights are completely different than the other person because they're sitting completely opposite you. So this should have been the left hand, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless of whatever hand it was, you're going to have some pretty big difficulties actually trying to move it. And just so you know, getting a surgery over a bullet gunshot wound is pretty serious. I mean, arm surgery is pretty serious. And so is chest surgery serious as well. So this is to actually, this video was made to actually get some more detail out, to just give you more information about what had happened. So I want to make it very clear that both this video and the last video are being made to actually talk about Abigail Warner's situation and give you the details on what has actually happened. And both videos are, they talk about, they were made to be talking about Abigail Warner and what this 6-year-old did to her, and now Abigail Warner, being that she actually had this surgery done, that she's got like a bunch of recovery to go through. It'll take her like quite a while to recover from a gunshot wound. And surgery as well. Surgery is pretty painful. It depends on what area you get your surgery from. If it's the head, that's major, which Abigail Warner didn't have to deal with any kind of head surgeries. At least not any that I've heard of. But the hand, well, I could, it's wrapped up in it's wrapped up like in cloth or something, or in a bandage. or whatever. And that specific hand of hers, she's gonna probably have trouble using that hand. And her chest surgical spot, well, she might have difficulty using, like, breathing. I don't know. I've never even experienced, but I know that having surgery of the chest can be pretty painful, especially when it comes to trying to remove like a gunshot bullet. Or something that's, you know, something that is, you know, that has gone, that's in the chest. That can be painful. So, I mean, just to keep this short, and this is going to be the last few words I mentioned in this video, Abigail Warner is continuing her recovery process from the time that she had that bad experience with her 6-year-old student who fired that gun at her, and she's still trying to recover from surgery. I mean, surgery can take months and months and months of recovery. It's not a fast recovery when you have major surgery that happens like this to you. It can take you, like, days and days and, like, no, not days and days and days, but, like, you know, like, months or even years if it has to come to that. So even though the incident with Abigail Warner's 6-year-old student is the 6-year-old that fired that gun that day is over, but Abigail Warner's recovery is going to pretty much continue, because, let's say, January 6th, since she'd been taken to a hospital that month after the incident happened, I'm sure she's going to need a long recovery process, and the 25-year-old Deja Taylor is taking the accountability for her 6-year-old's action, because a minor is too young to actually be put in prison for what the 6-year-old did to his own teacher. And that's where the responsibility of the parent actually comes in. If the child under 18, he's under the age, he or she is under the age of going to jail, and that's where the parents are the ones that are going to be responsible for what their kids do. Even if they commit, like, some kind of crime, then while they're under 18, most of the time it's going to be the parents that are going to have to be the ones responsible for what their kid does. If they commit a crime while they're under the age of 18, then the parents are the ones that are going to be held responsible. Just like how Ethan Crumbley's parents are in jail. Ethan Crumbley committed the crime in Oxford High School, and the parents are in jail as well because they had some responsibility for what Ethan Crumbley got himself into. And this has been, this is one example that I can actually explain. So, yeah. Abigail Warner is going to continue to recover from the incident that happened on January 6, 2023. And hopefully she can make a very, very great recovery. And maybe she'll feel like herself again, probably August. I mean, I'm not a surgeon, but I can relate to how much time it took me to recover from surgery myself. So August is a good month to actually take an accurate guess on when Abigail Warner is going to completely feel like she can use that wounded hand of hers again. And then it'll all be good. But she might want to end up, quitting her job after what had happened over at that Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport, Virginia. Because after what had happened, I'd probably be, or anyone, would pretty much be too scared to actually go back to that same place. And here's another example of why nobody would want to go back to work or whatever. After the incident with the Robb Elementary School shooting, after Salvador Ramos killed 10 kids and 2 teachers, nobody wanted to go back to Robb Elementary because why? Because of that tragic mass shooting that happened there in Uvalde, Texas. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. I've said enough. Hopefully this had made children well aware of what's going on. I mean, there's many mass shootings happening here in the United States. And I think elementary schools are probably going to be probably one of the common ones. Or, again, let me just say this again. Common ones that'll happen, we'll probably be hearing the rest of 2023 where, people will end up, murdering little children in elementary schools. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of 2023 if we kept hearing about this on the news. And it can also happen, mass shootings, they can also happen in public events too. Like malls. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, at like football games, amusement parks, or, wherever there's big public events going on, or, like public places where people just want to go and just enjoy themselves, have fun and stuff, but they just can't because we got all these monsters out there in the United States that have these bright ideas to just go shoot up people for, like some kind of hate motive or, whatever other motive, whatever. They just get these bright ideas that they think they can just go and just kill people because they would think that they just have like some kind of right to do so. And this is pretty much going to be going on throughout the rest of 2023. Now, can it be anywhere? Yes. But do we know where? No. Probably the common place that's going to happen is probably malls and elementary schools, or even middle schools or high schools, or even colleges. I mean, who knows? But news will tell us. The news will tell us if there's any kind of mass shooting that breaks out through the rest of 2023, which there is going to be more mass shootings here throughout the rest of 2023. And in the future, as sad as I don't want to say it, but it's the truth. There's going to be so many mass shootings in the future, and, who knows? We could have worse years than more than 2023. 2024 could end up being the worst year, as much as 2023, 2025, who knows? And then, for the rest of the future, more mass shootings. And this is where the United States is going to become, like, probably one of the most unsafe countries that have mass shootings that take place. And it's no surprise. I think it's pretty obvious that there are mass shootings that happen way too often. And people on platforms, like on their YouTube platforms, are probably going to be making more videos on these incidences that happen, because it's just sick to watch people just die just about like every week or every so often, and it's disgusting. But yeah, the people that have the bright idea to just go and kill people in a mass shooting, they just don't care who lives they take. And Abigail Warner is lucky that she didn't die from that gunshot wound from that 6-year-old that fired at Abigail Warner. Abigail Warner is lucky. She might want to quit her job for her own safety. But we'll have to see what time says. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what's said here, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, Charles Morse. Until my next video, I would be aware of when the next elementary school shooting would actually take place. I'd be aware of the rest of these mass shootings that happen here in the United States for the rest of the year and for the future. This is Charles Morse. Have a good day. I will see you all in my next video.